sharing this or speaking on this, or we can talk about this, but then there is do you make the situation or the conversation or the communication a safe space for a person to express? They don't have to agree. Like, we don't have to agree. But can I get my point across and it be okay that I have a different point? Sierra, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And I was trying to think back because this has been a little, you know, a little second back. So I was trying to really think back to the time space we were in when that was going on. And it was honestly when I was wanting to end the relationship and he was trying to force the relationship on me. So I could see, you know, there may have been a level of discomfort on his behalf. And even speaking to that situation, and I have, and, you know, we've talked about this, and I took accountability for things where I really wasn't a safe space, and I've had to go back and apologize and kind of reroute some of my old behaviors and patterns that I was doing. But even when you're in that space where maybe you're not being a safe space for whatever reason, when you kind of hit that brick wall where that other party can't articulate it or you can't evaluate yourself and see it for yourself, you still kind of end up in that standstill of just being in that mucky relationship that feels like you're not going anywhere no matter what direction you try to move.
Right. Okay, so let me, and because I love what she's saying, right? But let me share this with y'all. As an adult, it has to be evaluated with every conversation that you choose to have that is a serious conversation, not just casually talking about random shit, but in regards to relationships with your children, with family members that matter. The number one question you have to ask yourself is, why am I having this conversation? Some conversations you will know right off bat, I only want to have this because of a feeling. It's the only reason I want to have this conversation. I don't want to have it because I'm trying to sort out nothing. I ain't trying to hear a bitch solution. I don't give a damn what this nigga finna say. I'm trying to have this conversation, whether it's text message, whether it's over the phone, whether it's in person. I'm trying to talk about this shit because I feel some type of way. Who can relate to that? Who can remember a moment where that's why I'm trying to talk about some shit?
So I have a question because I had a situation where it was the other way around, where someone is trying to talk to me about something, but I actually have been working on myself and trying to like manage my emotions and deal directly with healthy communication. So when this person is bringing it to me, I automatically feel like it is the wrong approach.
Right.
So for me, I'm like, okay, no, I don't want to communicate at this time about it because I feel like, you know, we're both a little triggered and it's going to go in a different direction. However.
So pause for a second. Here's what I'm putting into perspective, right? Conversations like the ones we're talking about that deal with emotions, they're never not going to be triggering. They come with an emotion. The thoughts behind it come from a feeling. The feelings come from a negative thought. What I'm saying is, whenever you or another individual want to have a serious conversation with somebody in your life, consider the why. And I'm saying on both ends, not just your end. So if me and you in a relationship mode, right? And I want to talk to you about something. I'm your lady, right? You should consider, if this is something that we're trying to have a serious conversation on, why does she want to talk about this? Because if I just want to talk about this because of a feeling, this is just venting and it really doesn't require much thought or effort put in from you besides just listening. And so a lot of the things that may come up as I talk, as I communicate, as I share, a lot of things that may come up in your mind, you don't need to say it. So this is when we get into how the old folks say, you know, it's a time and a place for everything, and then everything don't require your response. When you consider...
But if you're asking...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, if you're asking me a question, you know what I mean, in our communication...
I don't care if I'm asking... Listen, I don't care if I'm asking you a question. Consider the why. And see, what I'm teaching y'all in this moment is how not to be a fucking pawn. Or how not to get drawn into things to where you are now triggered intentionally. You ever had somebody draw you into a conversation and you probably knew this motherfucker want to argue. So you start off like, I ain't finna argue with them. Next thing you know, you argue with them. They drew you in, right? What I'm explaining is me asking questions and all. If I'm your lady And the whole point of this conversation is for me to unload, for me to get off because of some feelings I have. It does not require you to put much thought or effort into anything but listening. So if I did ask you something, the communication back could be brief. The communication back could be a simple, I don't have an answer for you right now. The communication back could be, well, I'm still deciding an answer on that. Can you tell me more about? It's more about me venting and unloading than it is about anything else. Now, sometimes the why on serious conversations is to fix, solve, or get an understanding of something. Fix, solve, or get an understanding of something. This is not the same why as what I was just referencing. So this is when, as her lady or as her man, I'm not talking to just get some shit off based on a feeling. I'm trying to get an understanding of some shit that happened. I'm trying to get clarity on certain shit that I seen or that went on or that we got into it about. Do you understand the difference? Mm-hmm. One requires me to be more of an active listener and not try to take over the conversation, even if they ask me stuff. Another requires me to be active with my thinking, come in with my perspective, be ready to share, be ready to receive and solve. One requires more involvement mentally than the other. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yes.
Are some of y'all seeing where in the past... Go ahead.
Would you say if we don't handle our emotions, that's why some of us get hit with what you call a three-piece?
Right, but I'm going to tell you, what I'm saying right now is maturely as a grown person. Because this is, and I'll use myself as an example. This is one of the things I use to manage my emotions as I deal with people, right? When people approach me in my personal life to talk about something, I immediately consider the why. Hey, is he or she calling me because they're trying to tell me something or vent or unload about something that has to do with them feeling some type of way? When I see that it's that, I don't allow myself to feel any type of way about the conversation, because guess what? This conversation has nothing to do with me. It's all you trying to satisfy, help yourself, take care of, manage a particular thing that you're feeling. I'm not feeling anything. Otherwise, I would have been the one to call you. Do y'all understand what we do is we don't consider this. And so if I call Rhea and I feel some type of way about something, she allows herself to then get in her feelings as I start to speak on the stuff that bothers me. Anybody ever call somebody about something they was concerned about? And you know the other person wasn't concerned about it because they never was going to even bring it up. But when you start telling them what you're concerned about, then all of a sudden they got all these concerns and they damn near beat you mad, or they feel some type of way more than what you feel, but you was the one that originated the talk.
I was just about to say, I had just had a conversation with one of my friends, and this is exactly how it went. Exactly how it went.
Maturity, Maya, is when, as your friend, you could call me, and I could tell from you calling and bringing up a certain topic or thing that it matters to you. I can be mature enough to say, it don't matter to me as much as it matters to her. That's why it wasn't on my mind to even bring it up to her. So let me listen. Right? Let me be mature enough to say, here's the why for this. And let me just listen. Let me listen. Let me put more effort into hearing you and your points because you feel, not me, than actually trying to take over the conversation and bring up my feelings. And when you're around emotionally immature people, they have a way of spinning every conversation back to them. Anybody ever experienced that?
Yes.
I actually have done that. But not intentionally. It's more so like you're talking to me about how you feel. Mm-hmm. And then I may have like some suppressed emotions that we never discussed about that.
But this ain't your conversation.
It's not that I'm intentionally.
It ain't about you. This don't. But maturity comes when you understand this is not the time and place for my shit. That's what's wrong with us. I'm bringing this my conversation right now. And this is why I'm going to tell you something. This is why in our community, it's a struggle for a lot of us to have conversations with our parents. You ever tried to go to your parent, those that raised you, people that were involved in your upbringing, and bring up something that it is attached to your trauma or your feelings? Before you know it, they done took over the conversation, spit it back to them, talked about how they did the best they could or whatever their reservations were, and never gave a fuck about hearing you out or validating your feelings. It is immature. Now, if the things I'm saying bring up valid emotions in you, valid concerns, it awakes things, be mature enough to save your shit for a separate conversation where the conversation belongs to you and your why. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mo? Are y'all catching the maturity I'm giving out?
That makes sense.
Yes.
File each emotional situation separately. Your issues gonna be for one conversation, their issues gonna be for another.
That's why
and
right.
Make it about your damn and make it about your damn self.
Yes, you make it where you're not. And some of y'all,
shit like that, like.
Go ahead.
That's why, like, you'll hear people say, see, that's why I don't, that's why I don't like, it's always, that's why I, like, you'll just find yourself just like you bringing up something, how you feel about something, like, see, that's why I don't go out with black people. That's why I don't do nothing with black people. That's why I don't do nothing with
listen.
That's how a lot of arguments start too. Like, cause it be too many emotions and nobody listening.
It's the same, but I'm gonna tell you, there are certain conversations.
Some people just be listening to respond. Like as soon as you stop talking.
But Brianna, listen, babe, listen. Because you're correct. But here's what I'm trying to tell y'all, right? I'm trying to offer you some emotionally mature behavior. When I approach serious conversations with anybody, any one of y'all, whether it's business, whether it's personal, the idea is I'm going to consider the why. What are we having this talk for? Is it because they feel some type of way about something or they have a viewpoint on something being a problem? I am in it to decide that first. Because if this is not something that was originally an issue for me, guess what? I'm mature enough to not make it an issue for me, even if I don't like what you're saying. So you can come to me and I can be a safe space and a mature listener to you bringing a problem to me. Now watch this. Watch how I pivot to business. A lot of y'all suck ass at customer service when it comes to business, because if a customer brings to you a problem, this ain't your problem. Think about what I'm saying. This ain't your problem. I bought something from you. I have an issue with my purchase. This is me feeling some type of way, not you. You don't know how to be mature enough to just receive that I'm the only one that's upset in this conversation and it can stay that way. And you just be a business owner and just work on resolving my upset without speaking about something you're upset about, or without getting upset because I'm upset, or without taking it personal that I'm upset. Because my upset, it ain't about you. It's about something I feel. My feelings belong to me. So although I may come off a certain way, although I may not say it the way that you think I should, although I didn't, bring the issue to you in the most mature space, why can't you, as an individual that understands emotions, just accept and be okay with the fact that this is not my moment to feel some type of way? And this is how you become a safe space for people. They're allowed to come to you and without you being upset. It's the most immature shit when you go to somebody and say, hey, listen, this went on earlier. You text me this. I don't like how that occurred. Well, I'm just trying to see because you done did this and that. Listen, hold on. Here is what I'm upset about. I know I'm allowed to be upset and communicate a particular concern without you flipping it and making it about you. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
Yep.
2000%. Hey, love, got a comment.
Mm-hmm.
This type of Zoom is desperately necessary for the healthcare setting. Desperately. Mm-hmm. We desperately need some shit like this, because too many times have I seen a nurse or like a family member or a supervisor comes to a floor worker about something that went on with a patient, and here they go bringing up some shit that the patient be doing, and what the patient be doing, and what the patient is on, this that and the third. I'll give you a simple example. Coworker is late all the time. Supervisor comes in, discusses the problem. Now the coworkers breaking up how other people be looking at her stank and they working together and the pay's not good. This that you break up your issues. This shit was not a problem.
It wasn't.
You didn't say shit until somebody approached you about being late.
Yep. And the person who's approaching you, they have their right in their space to talk to you about something that is bothering them that may not be bothering you, and you have to be mature enough to allow them to have that moment. Our problem is when somebody else upset, we want to get upset too. I don't got to be upset because you upset, and I don't have to not care either. This is maturity. I don't have to be upset because Faith is upset, but I also don't have to not care, being that she's the only one that's upset. I can let her have a communication with me where I do more listening than I do talking to get an understanding, to allow her to be able to let off whatever she needs to let off for the sake of how she feels or what she perceives to be a problem. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? I want to genuinely know if y'all comprehend what I'm explaining.
Yes. So I comprehend what you're saying. Like, I get the, like, basically just listen, right? But then I'm thinking of the aspect of, okay, it's a two-piece situation. So you talked about, like, knowing what the why, which is them wanting to vent, but then there's conflict resolution as well. So if they're tied in together. Nope. Listen, I want you to really listen. If our conversation went that way? Nope. If it went that way, it's listen. And I want you to really receive what I'm saying. I'll just do relationships. In relationships, you got a man, you got a woman, right? We in a relationship. When serious talks come up, most often one individual is the one originating or initiating that we need to talk. Could be the man, could be the woman. The person that's initiating that, right? They obviously have more of a care, emotion, concern than you do, which is why they initiated it for that particular thing. So don't try to have all this care and take over the conversation when it starts. Allow them the space to get off of their chest what emotionally pushed them to bring this up. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Most conversations, I'm saying this because the next thing I was going to point out, most conversations are not the second option. Most people want the conversation to be the second option because they want to be able to get off and bring up they shit. Unable to listen, not a safe space, an unpleasant person communication-wise. And a lot of us as women, that's how we are. We are like that. And I'm going to tell you something. When I'm saying we're like that, we are like that on the opposite side where I'm the one bringing this shit up. And I will act like I want you to engage back as my man. I'm acting like it's option number 2, which is the why is to get an understanding or a compromise or comprehension of something, right? But really, I don't really give a fuck what you answer these questions with. I'm having this conversation because I'm trying to get off my thoughts and my perspective. I never was fucking concerned about what you was going to say anyway, even though I asked your ass. Mo, do you understand what I'm explaining? Yes.
A lot of y'all, you don't know how to turn it off or shut the fuck up. And when you get in a relationship with a mature person, especially mature men that have their basics together and have some sort of success at life, nobody gonna tolerate this kind of shit. Because if you coming to me as your man to vent and just talk about some shit, be clear about that and talk. Vent all you want. Even if it's not, pleasant in regards to what you're saying. If it's your genuine view and you just need to get this off and it's a real concern of yours, meaning it's making you feel some type of way, ain't no grown man gonna have no problem with that. But if you bringing me some shit with these feelings and all these thoughts, and then you start asking me questions or wanting me to engage in a conversation, but when I engage as a man, you ain't receiving none of the shit. You don't really care about the viewpoint. You're not allowing me to have the space to know that I'm validated to feel different. That you are not being transparent. You are not being mature. You are not someone that's pleasant in regards to a safe space. Mo, do you understand what I'm explaining?
Yes.
If you don't, ask me, because I want to make sure you understand.
I really feel like...
Can I?
Hold on, Linwood. Let me see if she understands.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm listening. I hear you, but I'm trying to apply it to that situation.
Okay, so
You get
give
what I'm
me,
saying? So,
give me the situation you're thinking of. Who brought up the conversation?
So something was brought to me.
Listen,
about
Mo, keep it simple.
The other person brought up the conversation.
So somebody called you and brought up something about something you posted.
But this was through text. That's
okay,
the thing.
I don't care. Somebody came to you about a post that who posted? You did?
Yes.
Okay, so I text you and I'm texting you. I'm the one initiating this conversation, meaning the post is not bothering you. You don't feel no type of way about the post. You're not upset about no post. There is nothing going on with the post that is bothering you before I text you, correct?
Right.
Okay, so when I reach out to you about this post, who is the person that has emotions tied to this conversation?
Them.
Me. So when I text you, be mature enough to let this be my emotional conversation and not fucking yours. I'm the one bothered by the post. And you don't have to agree with whatever my viewpoint is of the post. You don't have to agree that I have reason to be upset. But the fact in the reality is, whatever it was that you posted, I feel some type of way about it and you fucking didn't, right? So be a grown woman enough that when I text you, don't go into some little girl tantrum of flipping this shit around like you now got problems with me, because if I would have never brought this problem to you, you wouldn't even have no fucking problems. Do you understand what I'm explaining?
But I think you're not understanding what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
I didn't do that. I didn't flip it on me. It was more so like I was answering your question, right? Mm-hmm. But now you don't believe what I say, so it's like that's how the
I don't have to believe what you say.
Turned.
Yeah, I don't have to believe what you say. If I text you about the post and it sounds like you're saying my text to you about the post was a question, correct?
Right.
Okay, and so the question was what? Why did you post it, or who was you talking about, or what did you mean?
We could go along those lines, yeah.
Okay, so then you gave your answer and I didn't believe it, correct?
Right, but
okay.
There's no more conversation.
No, honey, no. This is where I'm saying you have to be mature enough to care that I feel some type of way, even if we don't agree. This not your conversation to feel, right? So I text you, I'm the one that's feeling, not you, right? Be mature, stay out your feelings because you don't feel no type of way, because you wasn't texting me about the post, I'm texting you. So I write you, Mo, I seen that post you put up with that status. You was talking about me or what you was talking about or why you posted, or I feel like you was saying it because of this. Is that true? You give me your answer back and I respond back. I don't believe that. I feel like you was talking about me, right? Or I have my viewpoint. It shows you that before I even text you, I already what?
I'm in your feelings.
And I already what? Came up with
a certain way. Yep.
Okay. So be mature enough. Okay. So this my homegirl. She texted me about the post. It made her feel some type of way. What she thinks the post meant or why I posted it is not true. But I am smart enough and mature enough to see she already believed what she believed. She feels some type of way already. I don't feel no type of way because I know I ain't do shit wrong. But if I care about love as a friend, I can have that you feel some type of way. This is important to you to talk about. So guess what? I can open the floor up for you to express as much or as long as you want without me getting in my feelings. Because guess what? From my perspective, I never did nothing wrong anyway. It doesn't have to turn into an argument. You don't have to get offended. If you understand that we're human and the way that feelings work, people will feel some type of way or view things or assume things throughout their life or take things a certain way that you didn't mean it. And there will be times that you explain and you can't make them believe you. Be mature enough to accept that, hey, friend, I see your text. I get you saying you don't believe me about the post. Genuinely, I'm telling you, that's not what I meant. But I get that you feel some type of way. Is there anything else that you want to say to me about the post? Yeah, because I felt like such and such and such and such. I hear you, friend. And because I just feel like yep, and I hear you, friend. Yeah, because I'm just trying to see, like, why the fuck would you? I hear you, friend, but I'm going to say again, I did not mean it like that. Is there anything else you want to get off your... You see how I'm putting care on the fact that I value this relationship, and I'm not finna go in my feelings, because guess what? I was never feeling no type of way about this shit anyway. Do you understand now, Mo, what I'm saying?
Yes.
This is maturity. And there will be moments where it will be the same in your favor. Where you reach out to somebody, or you tell your nigga, I need to talk to you, or you tell your kids, hey, come in here, mama want to talk to you, and you're the only one that feels some type of way. I'm gonna tell you something, right? If we pivot over to parenting, we will do this with our kids, where we're the ones that feel and they don't, and we will get mad at them for not getting in their feelings. Because kids have a way of doing this without even knowing that they're doing this. Call your child, hey, come in here. So now, I done told y'all ass to clean this up and this right here and that right there. You ain't doing this and you ain't doing that. And I'm sick of this shit, right? I'm the one that feel. I originated the serious conversation about some shit. And the child be sitting there like, I'm sorry, I forgot. This is not their conversation to feel. But see, a lot of us, the way we was raised, you going to make them feel. Because you're going to beat on them and beat on them and beat on them and beat on them and beat on them till you bring some emotion out, which is going to satisfy your emotion because you emotionally immature. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining? Can y'all relate?
Yep. It's essentially the mechanics of hurt people.
Yep.
I have a comment to make about when you were talking to the other young lady about like her friend and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I totally understand now because I'm that type of person too. So she was mentioning like, the person didn't believe her. She was trying to explain herself, which probably, kind of triggered her. And it's like, I care. And I'm trying to get you to understand that I didn't mean it that way.
But you can't make me. You can't. Right. This is what I'm saying. Listen, y'all don't understand. We can be friends and I don't have to believe every fucking thing you say. I don't have to agree with what you're saying. And this is where we go wrong in relationships as well. Because you have a man, and if there's something he doesn't agree with you on or necessarily believe you or take your perspective on, you take it personal, and now you damn near don't want to be together because I don't fucking believe that shit you said.
But this is
because sometimes there are people that you ever been on the phone with somebody and then the phone hang up and then they feel like you hung up on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And then based on what y'all was talking about, they believe you. No, you hung the phone up. I know your ass hung the phone up. And you like, I did not hang up. If you're not mature like what I'm expressing, you will damn near get mad because they don't believe what you're saying. When in all reality, what's wrong with simply saying, well, if you feel like I hung up, right? If you think that that's what happened, I'm telling you it's not. But I care and I don't want you to feel like I don't want to have this conversation. So go ahead and finish what you were saying before the phone hung up. Or if you turned off about talking anymore after you felt like the phone hung up, I understand as well. I'm not going to take it personal. Okay. We have to be mature enough to not allow yourselves to go into feelings on some shit that is another person's moment to feel. Go ahead, Yolanda.
Okay, so to kind of I understand all of that, right? So you can't make a person basically understand that you didn't mean to do whatever it is that you did, right? So what if their reaction is like, okay, I don't want to be your friend no more. I don't want to be with you no more because of whatever. And you are genuinely, like you said, you're trying to express it and, you being forthcoming with your emotions and stuff like that. But they still like, okay, nope, I'm done.
Yep.
So, and you are trying to be, and actually you are being emotionally mature.
No, listen, Yolanda, no. Once somebody tell you they don't fucking believe something and you provide them with whatever legitimate proof or communication that you got, you gave it to them and they still don't believe it. You're not being mature if you keep carrying on trying to make them believe it. Even if you want them.
Okay, so that's my point. So just let it go.
You have to. What I'm saying is
however they're gonna feel.
Listen to what I'm explaining. And yes, the answer is yes. But it's not just let them feel how they feel. whatever somebody gonna do behind that feeling, you not in control of them. And see, this is where when we be in relationships and you going back and forth with your partner, they don't believe you, then they want to break up or leave. And then it's different if you haven't got a chance to explain your facts and your viewpoint. I understand pursuing the conversation as far as you need to finish your point, and then allowing them the chance to believe you or not believe you once your point is finished. But if you already got out, here is, I did not do that. Here's why I didn't do that. Here's the facts of it. Here's the proof I got. Or I don't have any particular proof. I'm just expecting you to believe me. If the person does not believe me, this is when we, especially us as women, we'll try to block the door or give ultimatums. Well, bitch, if you don't believe me, then just fucking leave. I'm just saying, I don't want to, like, we end up getting in a space where we get very immature because we cannot control the narrative. That's all it is. And this is emotional immaturity. We do this with our children a lot of the times. When your child doesn't agree or is not admitting to something. Ma, I didn't do that. Yes, the fuck you did. Ma, no, I did. Yes, the fuck you. There is only so much that you should say as a mature person in regards to that.
I have a question. So, what's the best way to, like, get over or help heal emotional immaturity?
So I'm giving y'all the tools. So let me say this, right? People change, people break these cycles for one of four reasons, right? They hurt enough, they go through enough hurt that they have to, because you about to die psychologically or physically. You hurt yourself enough to where you don't have a choice but to change. Number two, you see enough to where you're inspired. You ain't got to go through it, but you've seen enough fuck shit that it inspires you to change or do different. That's two. Three, you learn enough. You educate yourself enough to where you want to. I know enough to the point where I want better. That's number three. Number four, you receive enough to where you're able to. You receive enough to where you're able to. So the idea of even moving differently with your emotions, you have to reach one of these points. So you can be in my Zooms consistently, like a lot of y'all is, like similar to Linwood, to where now I'm sure he has learned enough to where he wants to be different. There may be some of y'all, you ran across a platform of mine or started buying books to read because you done went through so much fucking hurt and pain and bullshit that you tired of it. You done argued and lost so many people, beef with enough people. You done went to jail enough times, or, you know, fucked enough fuck niggas, or did enough pussy ass shit to the point where you are enough. It's enough. You sick of yourself with this shit. You sick of the way your life look, and now you have to. Then there are those of y'all, you may have people around you where I done seen my mama, my aunties, them, my cousin, maybe even my baby daddy or my sister. I done seen them fuck up enough. I done seen them be poor with money enough. I done seen so much of what is wrong to do that I'm inspired to do different. Or I have received enough. You ever seen somebody that, look, I came across enough opportunities or money or, you know, energies with people to where now I'm able to be different. Jessica, do you understand what I'm saying?
Hey, love, kind of compliment.
Yep.
The beauty in learning how to master this concept. You can dodge a lot of con artists. You can dodge a lot of fraudulent behavior, because most con artists is the way that they move, they tap into people's emotions and cause people to
yeah. Your phone breaking up a little.
Example of it is the brick.
Your phone.
Brick lady in Houston.
Right. Your phone breaking up a little bit, but I'm going to tell y'all he is correct. And so if you understand this, a lot of people will come at you in ways that you can peep out off top that this person is just trying to unload based on their feelings. And if I have the time or the care for that person in my relationship with them to allow them, I can allow them to do that without it turning into something about me, without it being my emotions now unloaded. Like, I am a safe space for people to call and be upset about something, and I don't have to get upset. And even if you don't believe a word of what I'm saying, I'm mature enough to allow you your own viewpoint because I have no choice. A lot of us, our perspective and viewpoint was controlled, especially from childhood. Like, if you grew up in a single parent household, a lot of times it's all about order and control. Because one parent trying to manage multiple kids, a lot of times it is easier for them psychologically to just parent based on being authoritative, being an authoritarian the majority of the time, issuing out orders and telling people what to do and telling you how to feel and what to conform to and what to believe and what not to listen to and who to talk to and which family members you ain't fucking with. If I tell you we don't fuck with them, you don't call them, you don't do this, you don't. When you're raised in that particular environment, you grow up and you get very uncomfortable with being in rooms with people that feel differently than you. And it becomes unattractive to you to socialize. Unattractive to you to build intimate relationships long term with people because it feels like they're doing something to you. Do y'all understand what I'm describing?
Yes. So this just basically ties automatically into communication as well, because the way you communicated how you would have done things is probably different, than how I communicate.
Yep. But you're going to always say your stuff the way that you want to say it, right? So I'm not expecting you to express exactly the way that Love Dorsey expresses. All I'm saying is, if you're mature, your feelings is not going to show up in everything.
All right, love, I can respond now. I'm sorry. I can talk now. Okay.
Go ahead.
No,
Okay.
I'm just letting you know I can talk now.
Okay.
I can talk.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
If you understand what I'm explaining, like some of y'all probably thinking back on different conversations you've had, you probably thought your man was being a certain type of way, but really he was allowing you to have the feelings in your conversation that you wanted to have. And you probably took offense or got more mad because you didn't understand what I'm explaining right now. Do you see what I'm saying? You ever talk to somebody and it's like, you ain't getting no reaction out of them, so it seems like they don't care or they don't feel? But in all reality, if you're the one bringing up a particular point that is bothering you, I am supposed to allow you that space to let this be your thing.
So what about when you have, like, okay, when you're that person that can sit down and have that mature conversation and then they do exactly what you said, like they turn it around on them. Like they don't want to. They want you to see everything from their perspective, but they don't want to listen to what you got to say. And you the one that brought the shit up.
Mm-hmm. So what she's describing is unhealthy communication and unmanaged emotions. Emotions and thoughts run in the same. What you think about, what you feel, they're intertwined together. And I'm gonna put something on the screen and break this down for y'all. But I want you to understand. This is when I go back to the whole controlling. If Classy in a relationship with me and the majority of our serious conversations go the way that she describes, what does that tell you?
That shit is not healthy and it's toxic as fuck.
And so there you go. And so what should happen?
Let it go.
Yep. And we're letting it go. Watch this. Here's the maturity. We're letting it go, not because of what we were arguing about. We're letting it go, not because you're a bad person. We're letting it go, not because he cheated on me. I seen his DMs and that's what we was arguing. No. We're letting it go because regardless of the different issues that are brought up, if they're serious, we can't be mature with each other and communicate like we got some fucking sense. So it has to be let go because of that. In our day and age, people aren't admitting that. They're saying, well, I broke up because I tried to talk to Mo about what she posted. That bitch didn't want to tell the truth about what she did. So that's why the fuck we don't go together no more. But that's not why. Like, it's okay for Mo to feel this way and you to feel that way. The struggle y'all got is that you're controlling as fuck and emotions are not managed. You want to control each other's brain space about a particular topic, and that's not logical. And because you don't have the mature behavior to just talk through things like this, that's why y'all didn't work out. But we don't tell these truths, and the problem with this is when me and Mo separate, she don't fix nothing about her communication. I don't fix nothing about mine. And we keep repeating this for different people. And before you know it, you got 2-3 kids or 2-3 baby daddies, different relationships, a bitter attitude towards men and or relationships. You don't really like socializing with females because you're always getting into it. And you believe that people are generally bad. But really, it's just poor communication. People gonna be people.
So I have a question. Like in a conversation, if like what you said, somebody is using you as a pawn or whatever. I'm not tying this to no specific situation, but I feel my emotions are rising. What would you suggest in that moment as far as being emotionally mature?
So I'm going to give you some tools to manage what you feel. But I want you to understand first things first. Let me tell myself this is not my conversation to feel. I can have my own, but let it be separate. And the problem is, if we're talking about this Mo in an intimate relationship, I will start to feel like I can't bring shit to Mo. Because soon as I bring her something that she feel a way about as we talk, she start bringing up her own stuff, and the conversation then gets took over and it turns into her conversation. It's like, when I'm going to get to have mine? I can't never bring this bitch shit where we just talk about what I got a problem with. She always get triggered in her feelings and start taking the conversation in the direction of talking about what she want to talk about. How come she can't just sit there and let me have this one, and she can bring up whatever made her feel a certain type of way in this conversation at another time? Bitch, get your own time. This is my time. Notice, I'm not telling her she can't be triggered. I'm not telling her she can't feel. I'm not telling her she can't get mad about something that I said or the way I said it. Bitch, get your own time to say it. Stop trying to use mine.
Right.
And I think that was a problem, like, because I was told that before, and I feel like that was a problem in my relationship. But it was also the other way around, too. Like, I could be bringing something, and so I feel like it was more so like we was doing it to each other.
Yes, that's why I said when you blame it on the issues and not on the behavior, you will break up and repeat the behavior with other people. And usually people mimic or they model or they imitate what you give them, right? This is how the average person operates, because most people aren't high level thinkers like I am and some of you guys in here. So when a nigga meet a bitch or a bitch meet a man, or, you know, whatever, however you want to say it, and they in a relationship, if as a man, I start bringing things up, and every time I bring up stuff, she flip it and turn it into her conversation. Guess what I may start doing? Even if I wasn't doing this before I met her, I'm going to do her how she do me. That's how most people operate. So now when she started bringing up certain shit and things like that, I'm going to flip that bitch back to mine. And then when she say, well, I'm just saying, why you trying to change the different? Bitch, you do it. Because there's something in us to show people themselves. And so the idea is, I may not even want to behave like this, but it feels like I feels, but to also see if you can take what you dish out. Do y'all understand what I'm explaining?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Somebody said they have a question.
That was me. How would I go about articulating that
I think I got
to a younger family member who I'm pretty close with, but it's like a small situation, but it's kind of big to me because she watches my children for me sometimes, and she eats a lot. So she'll eat and drink up all of this stuff, and then on the weekend when my kids home, you know, like I told you earlier, I clean. So it's a little weekend. They don't have anything to drink. All of their snacks is on. How would I articulate that to her? Being that she's only 15 and like I'm kind of knowing like she'll take the, well, don't worry about it. I ain't gonna come by your house no more. I ain't gonna watch the church no more. And it's like, nah.
So I'm gonna tell you something, right? And this is what I was saying earlier. Kids usually do this natural. Adolescents normally have this particular trait about themselves naturally. And what I mean by that is most of the shit that we bring to children as adults, they don't be giving a fuck. It's all about how we say it.
Right.
So if you say it to her where you're not coming off like this is some major thing that she's fucked up on